Yeah, I'm gonna try that a third time. Okay, so we actually have a lot of updates to go over because I've been doing a lot of different things lately. As you can see, I'm on Artix S6. I always thought X6 S6 was the coolest thing ever. I'm finally using it. It's cool. It's great. There's a few things I probably would have changed if I were a developer on here, like KDE by default ships Wayland, but it doesn't ship with Pipewire. It ships with Pulse Audio for some reason. So I'm like, oh, just like fucking ship Pipewire by default if you're gonna use Wayland. Like, come on, jeez. So, one problem with S6 is, do I want to use GNOME? Well, I can't. Artix drops support for GNOME. And really, it's no big fucking loss for me. Like, I use GNOME fucking Ubuntu on my tablet for accessibility, but eventually I'm gonna switch over to KDE anyway, so what the fuck's it matter? Once they make their fucking on-screen keyboard that hopefully will work someday. But Chimera is a small distribution, kind of an offshoot of Void that uses muscle libc. It uses D in it, so but they're only supported. Basically, their only supported desktop is GNOME, so they're gonna have to rebase or fucking switch over or something. I don't know. They're gonna have to do something about it, but I think Slackware, Void, Venom Linux, fucking Gentoo OpenRC, like there's all these distros that just won't be able to use GNOME. And I don't think that's well, Gentoo's got other problems and I'm gonna talk about those now. So I've pretty much given up on Gentoo. I've looked through their issue trackers, I've looked through their IRC, I've looked through their Discord. Everybody's pretty much burnt out. I'm gonna be real, like there's not a whole lot going on anymore. So a lot of packages are going broken, slow to ship, despite being a source-based distribution, which is like the whole fucking point of being a source-based distribution, is your shit gets out there faster. But a lot of things are going unpatched, broken. It's not good. So I'm like, okay, fuck it. And as soon as I switched over to CachyOS or NixOS, I was like, holy shit, my KDE actually fucking works for once. It doesn't like crash once every day. And I was like, oh, that's because Gentoo never fucking patched it. They never added the fucking KWin like shell auto relauncher. So fuck them. It became like a running joke that I couldn't find a fucking Wayland desktop to use on my Nvidia card. It was that fucking broken. So GNOME's already had issues with alternate inits. I've reported these bugs. I never got fixed, so fuck it. But whew, sorry, I'm getting kind of tired. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with Gentoo right now. As much as Imolo says that Arch isn't good, fucking Arch has got their shit better together than Gentoo. Like shit, man. But one thing that happened was I was using Omarkey yesterday, and I pretty much gave up on that immediately. Like, I figured out the key bindings, it wasn't that hard to use, but my backspace key would hang, and it would just, like, start backspacing longer than I pressed it. So something was really laggy. It's a huge bloated distribution. It's not really what I'm looking for. Um, what else? Oh yeah, fucking Hyperlin, like Hyperlock fucking crashed, because why the fuck wouldn't it crash? It's fucking Vax software. So, but what was funny was I went onto the Artix Telegram and I was bitching about that, and he said, "Oh well, Hyperlin's really popular. Maybe he's doing something right." I said, "Yeah, I said the same fucking thing about Leonard Pottering once upon a time." Like, you really want to go there? You really want to make the popularity argument? Really? So, anyways, the other big thing coming up though is people are talking about Rust core utils. So, from what I can gather, there are three different camps of people, right? There's the anti-GNU crowd. There's the anti-Rust crowd, and there's the anti-Apple crowd. So, I find myself in the anti-GNU crowd. And the reason why is because I don't want to be dependent on a specific libc. I don't want to be dependent on a specific compiler. And I would like there to be an alternative, but the problem is Muscle does not fit that alternative because it isn't a drop-in replacement. It is a completely separate libc. Same thing with LLVM. It doesn't replace GCC, but it does provide an alternative to GCC. So what I would like is for a complete rewrite of GNU in preferably a memory safe language such as Rust, maybe fucking Zig or Go or something. I don't give a fuck. You got to pick something though, you know. But so I would like GNU rewritten in a drop-in replacement style so that it can be used in other programs, like for the NVIDIA drivers, for Steam, for Discord. Even though I don't use Discord, I would still like it to be usable, for those people that do. That's kind of where I'm at. So hopefully, on paper, these Rust cordials can become a dependency for these other programs instead of having to use like GNU tills, and that does mean that distros like, or not distros, but operating systems like macOS or ones that don't like GPL software like FreeBSD, those can you can use an alternative for your build environments because obviously they have their own core utils, which doesn't matter. But when you start building software, you do need GNU tills, so it would be nice. Because I agree more with Linus Torvalds that GPL v2 is cool, but if it's your software, you get to pick the license, and so I don't like the idea that we are forcing. Because that really is what it comes down to with the anti-Apple crowd, is they really want to force people to use GPL software, and they don't want anything rewritten, which is exactly how we got Linux and GNU in the first place, was because Unix had a license that GNU didn't like, so they rewrote everything in a GPL license. But now we have the opposite problem where people are pissed off that, oh, my precious GPL software is going to get a replacement, and macOS will be able to have the same functionality I do on GNU Linux. So I think it's the wrong attitude to have. I don't personally agree with it, and that does fuel a bit of my anger towards GNU, because it does foster a community of people that aren't about sharing. Instead, they are about control, and that is really why I don't like this new iteration of the FSF. Is because I do think that there needs to be alternatives for other people to use in their own projects. I don't think that your code is holy. I don't think that it needs to be the only option, and that is how we got into this situation in the first place, where muscle libc is not usable for things like for proprietary programs. And so that is why we do need a not only alternative but a complete replacement for GNU. That's just me. You know what I mean? Like, I am obviously not the arbiter of all this, but I do see Rust as a good option to create this software. You can say whatever you want about the maintainers. I don't really give a fuck what you say. I don't really give a fuck about them either. I don't interact with them. They just make my software. So that's kind of where we're at. Whether you like it or not, Rust is coming. It's just like Brody says, I'm the fucking Rust shill. He's the fucking Wayland shill. Whatever, like, is coming for you whether you like it or not. So either get on board or figure out an alternative. Start using LLVM, muscle libc, and ceiling if you want. That'd be nice. All right, bye.